If the guy really liked me, he'd try to reach out again. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Emily, and I am being consistent with videos for the past few weeks, so I'm gonna give myself some props because it is the most insane time at work right now, and I'm just happy to be connecting with you guys again, and just had a little bit of a lull there for a minute, but back and happy to have you. If you watch this video and you like it at the end of the video, please hit the thumbs up button. I would love to see you subscribe too, so we can have you back here and get notifications on my future videos. And then there is a link below. If you look at that, to my Patreon page, you can click on that link and support my channel. I would be very, very thankful. It helps me be able to make more videos. Shortcomings we may think we have, from a young age may tend to overcompensate for that. And for me, thinking about when I was younger and then going up through adolescence, realizing from a young age that I needed to be the nice girl, the funny girl, the outgoing girl. I grew up with a shy mom, and my mom, I've heard stories, she was like painfully shy as a child, and then, you know, she was my mom, so I didn't realize until I got to be an older kid how shy my mom was. She was also a hairdresser, so she talked to people all day long. So it's interesting, you know, that she was in that profession, but she has always been shy and quiet around people that she doesn't know. So I think from a young age, I learned to kind of overcompensate for my mom's shyness, because I never wanted anyone to feel offended, or if I had friends over, I didn't want them to think that my mom didn't like them, or if we went into a store and we're talking to a clerk, or, you know, my teachers or whatever it be, I felt like I needed to be the one that was bubbly and polite and outgoing to kind of like make that situation not uncomfortable. So from a young age, and probably for other reasons, I always have been the person that wants people to feel comfortable in any situation. I hate people feeling embarrassed. I always want people to feel at ease, and learned from that and other things, I think, you know, from a young age, to people please. And I am somebody that needs words of affirmation. That is one of my love languages. I need to be told, you know, the good things about myself. I need to be lifted up by my family and my friends. And, you know, that's probably not my parents' love language. And so I feel like I've always been striving for that my whole life, to get that appreciation, recognition from them and others. So have always just been a people pleaser. And then getting into like high school, where I felt like I was overweight and was carrying around feelings of feeling unattractive or unlike my friends, because I was chubbier than my friends, most of my friends, just feeling not pretty, you know, during those years. And learned that I could be the funny one. I could be the one with the personality. And mind you, I have a personality, and I feel like I am funny. I can be very funny. I end up getting like class clown. I think that a lot of it came from feeling like I didn't have the body and the, you know, hotness or whatever it is that I felt like my friends had. So I had to be the nice one and always bending over backwards. I felt like I have a kind heart, I feel, to begin with, and I do love helping people, but I know that I've done a ton in my life seemingly helping people because I wanted it to reflect well on myself. So going through this journey, it has really taught me how to be more of who I am, make decisions based on what do I feel is good in my heart, and then go and say, yeah, I would love to help that person, without running myself into the ground health-wise, stress-wise, without neglecting my kids because I told somebody else that I would help with this or that project when I really have 2 kids at home that need help with homework or need help getting, to a practice. And I'm just like running from place to place by the skin of my teeth because I overcommitted myself. And I've realized in the past probably 6 months that I have so much more mental freedom. I am someone that suffers from anxiety, and I've talked about that in previous videos. And this, like, letting go of the people pleasing, and of course I still have some of it, but letting go of the trying to like make everyone happy and not want to say the wrong thing and not say how I feel because I'm afraid of a bad reaction. Letting that go and being more of myself and saying more like, I don't like that, or telling a guy that I'm dating that, I need more communication from you, or this isn't working for me, or, I'm not bending over backwards to, schedule a date with somebody because I really like them and I have to work it into my schedule and it's really not working because I don't want them to end up deciding that they don't want to go out with me because I'm not flexible. These are all things that I would do in the past. And I would, accept things in a job because I didn't want to ask for more money for a raise, or I didn't want to not get chosen for a job. So I would put up with these different things that really weren't going to be a good fit for me. And I knew that I was a good candidate for a position and could have asked for things. And what's the worst that could happen? Someone can say no. What's the worst that can happen when you tell a guy that you're only free on such and such a night because you've got, a pretty crammed schedule? The worst that can happen is they can say no. And if they want to see you, they will make a plan to go out with you. But to someone that has always felt inadequate and felt like I felt like I needed to make myself accessible, make myself not undesirable, because it's undesirable if your schedule doesn't fit theirs. It's undesirable if you tell someone that something that they said hurt your feelings. It's undesirable or someone who isn't always answering a text back right away. When in all reality, if you aren't that person and you're just trying to make yourself perfect or super accessible in all these ways, that's not the real you. And you're giving this person an impression of somebody and it's not accurate. And eventually that veil, that curtain falls down and they, get to see you, and those things actually still bother you, and you're going to get to a comfort level, say it's a partner, and you end up starting to say these things, but you waited 6 months or a year to start voicing your opinion and showing like what your likes and your dislikes and your emotional things are. That's not fair to that person. I did that in my marriage to an extent, and when I was seeing my kid's dad before we were married, I went along with a lot of stuff. And I regret that a lot because when we got into a situation of living together and having my daughter and then getting married, it's like, well, now I felt safe and I felt like he couldn't get rid of me, so to speak. Because, my biggest fear is being abandoned. My biggest fear is not being loved. And I will do those things that I can control. So I will pretend that something doesn't bother me, or I won't voice my opinion, or this, past tense, wouldn't voice my opinion, wouldn't say how I felt on a certain subject if I felt like it was a hot button topic and you may disagree with it, because I don't want conflict. But then I felt safe, I got married, and I felt like he couldn't get rid of me. And then I started voicing my opinion, which wasn't fair. It wasn't fair to him. It wasn't fair to anybody to, come out that way. I'm guilty of that with my children. I know that I have 2 kids that I provide for, and I, put a roof over their head and love them dearly, cherish them. Just they are my absolute greatest gifts on earth, but I will treat them in a way that I wouldn't treat a friend that walked through my door, because I know my kids have to stay. And it's messed up, and I've talked about it before. You know, I work on things like yelling at my kids when I get anxiety and frustration, because that's what I want to do with everybody. But, you know, my kids are the ones that are there, and I know that they're not going to walk out and leave me. And it's messed up. And working on these people-pleasing things has brought me to a place where I'm more conscientious of those things, and realizing I need to speak my piece. I need to say when I can't make it to something. I don't even have to say why. If a friend asks me to an event and I can't make it, or I just don't want to, I can just say no. I don't have to over-explain myself. Of course, you know, we want to be conscientious of people's feelings, but gone is the person that I had felt like I had to be because I was fat. And I hope that you, whatever shape you are in, are not trapped in that. Start getting rid of it now. Don't wait till you lose weight. You don't have to. You are lovable, 100% lovable and amazing exactly how you are right now. Yeah, go ahead, lose that weight, get healthy, but mentally start getting healthy now, and don't wait until you're this perfect package of a person. You're gonna have all this baggage to deal with that I have been dealing with for the past 3 years, and going through therapy and working these things out. So just realizing I have this mental freedom. I sit around now, not sit around like lazy, but like I'm not constantly worried about what I said to hurt someone's feelings. It is so liberating, you guys. My therapist said to me once, and it took a while for it to sink in. She said, Emily, no one is sitting there dwelling on what you said in a conversation earlier that day and losing sleep over it. And if they are, that is their duty to come to you and tell you. Unless you know you were a jerk, unless you intentionally hurt someone or you just were a jerk, you need to apologize. Otherwise, they need to come to you and say it. Or just remember, their lives don't revolve around you, and people aren't thinking about you as much as you think they are. And that, it took a while to sink in. I realized it's the dang truth. I don't do it with other people. I don't sit and dwell on something that they said for hours on end, for the most part. So why would I think that people were doing that with me and have heard nothing? I reached out and I just said, hey, I was hoping to hear from you this week. I had a really great time the other night. That's it. 3 days later, I get a text back from him, and it said, oh my gosh, I'm really sorry I didn't text you. I would still like to do something sometime. I had fun. If you are still talking to me after not responding for a few days. I had my children this weekend. And my reaction was to just not respond. I felt like I wasn't a priority. I mean, it took days. We all look at our phones a million times a day. That was just my gut feeling. Like, after you said you had such a great time with me, and then you take days you don't message me, and then you take days to respond to my message. And I was, talking about it at work with my coworkers, because we talk about stuff like that. And my boss is a man, and he said, well, he's busy. Like, give him a break. You should respond. In my mind, I wasn't going to. And that got me to thinking. It got me doubting myself, second guessing. And there's time and a place for advice, and I think that sometimes it's appropriate. But I got to thinking about it, and I felt like, okay, well, I should probably respond. He's a guy. Even though every other guy, I had mentioned it to like 2 other guy friends, they both told me not to respond, because if a guy wants to talk to you, you are a priority. He will text you. Don't ask me why I'm still struggling with this, but apparently I am, because I didn't date much when I was younger. I'm dating now. So I responded, and I've never heard back from the dude. And it's been over a week. I'm like, when are you going to learn your lesson? Follow your gut. So I'm still in this learning process. Follow your gut. I was afraid that I could be leaving something good behind if I don't respond to this text. Maybe this is going to work out. And if I don't respond, I'll never know. The thing is if the guy really liked me, he'd try to reach out again, most likely. It's just lessons in life learned. So I know this is getting to be a long video, and if you're still here, thanks for watching. I just wanted to share that with you guys. I'm sure that I am not the only one struggling with that or having had struggled with that in my life. And I wanted to just say that and know that you are not alone, and you have to get through it, whether it be with therapy or just starting to like make decisions and choices for you, what's good for you and your family, number one. And then you have this energy and love inside of you that can go out and do amazing things and help tons of people, but you have to be healthy and whole inside first. So that's all I wanted to say. Just wanted to share that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys to pieces. I will see you in my next video. Don't forget to keep it real.